Okay, so we should be in the field planting and working up stuff, and I should be in the shop working, but we got an invite from the Canadian Navy.
Yes.
They seen the tank video, and they're like, we can up you. You're gonna let us drive a ship. So this is the Glace Bay. It's harbored in Toronto. It is doing tours, and so you can go on the ship yourself. Probably won't get as much access as us, but you get to see the video and everything that the ship can do. So pretty stoked. Vince and my dad and Vince's son and Kevin's son are already on the ship. They couldn't even wait. So let's go.
Permission for DeBoss Garage, take the helm, sir.
Red 6-0.
Red 6-0.
It's just the best word ever. It's just like a... Alright, so we're in the belly of the Glace Bay. They've got 4 of these Wartsila UD 23 V12s. Is that what they are? Yep, I got it right?
Yep.
Yeah, and for the most part reliable. They had a couple issues when they were new, but that all seems to be resolved. So other than keeping up the engine oil for the most part, a couple leaks here and there. So they're 700 horsepower each. I'd like to think that they're 3,000, but I think what we heard was combined, you've got 3,000 horsepower.
Yeah.
You said between 3 engines and 4 engines was only 1 knot.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we rarely run on 4 engines at all. It makes the most sense to either run 2 or 3, or if we're just going to be deliberately just cruising around slow time, 1 engine is usually all we need. It's very rare that we actually change out the fuel injection pump itself. There, we'll often have to change out spider lines or tighten down on some of these guys.
So yeah,
They made those lines just so that if you ever break one, you have to buy the whole thing.
Yeah.
From them, right? It's a whole, monopoly thing. And so they're using, you're using salt water to cool fresh water to cool the radiator.
Yeah.
So they get 3 kind of cooling systems.
Pretty much. Yeah.
A lot of redundancy.
There is.
So we just want to make sure that our pre-starts are all good for our engines right now. Then we're checking our saltwater cooling system, which is right down here. This valve right here, the inlet, as well as our outlet are de-isolated, which they are. Lastly, our fuel system, singular valve, which my hand's on right now. We just want to make sure that's open as well. And then our filters, and then feeds the fuel injection pump located right on the top right here. Air filters are on site as well. We're ready to flex up the engine. So gentlemen, hearing protection on.
So everyone on the ship today, including myself, are proud Canadian. One thing I want to get out of the way is that our Canadian Navy is not even near the size of the US Navy. Keep in mind that we are less than 1/10 of the population of the Americas as well.
Green 6-0. Green 6-0. Going green 6-0 set, sir.
What we can be proud of is that Canada is generally a peacekeeping country. Since the Korean War, there has only been 1 Canadian vessel that has been shot at. The coxswain explained to us that most of the Canadian Navy's missions are humanitarian aid.
So I'm the ship's coxswain. The coxswain's role is one of leadership. I use my experience as a sailor to inform my crew, show them what right looks like, give them expectations for their behavior when they're on board. Really, I'm like the ship's dad. I praise them, but I also punish. I guide them, and I give them advice, and I listen to them. And I make them feel like a member of the ship, and a member of the crew. So this is the bridge of a Kingston-Class Maritime Coastal Defense Vessel. Excellent visibility. These ships are designed to be close in to shore, looking for mines, trying to clear the way for the rest of the Navy to come in behind and land troops or go into a contested harbor. So despite her being 28 years old, she has a lot of really modern features. Hey, Chips. Here, 215. Chips, here, 215. Very good. Officer to watch, Sir Coxswain.
Officer to watch.
Permission for DeBoss Garage, take the helm, sir.
Scott.
Rich.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah, so closing here, so part of our duties is driving the ship on our watches. So right now, myself and Petty Officer of the Watch, Sheila McMullen, are the White Watch, and we're up here from 12 till 4 and then midnight till 4.
Nice.
So we have our 2 thrusters here. We're going to be steering these. We only use one at a time just to make small corrections. So right now we're going to be steering 215, so slightly off there. We'll correct that. When you want your numbers to go down, which means we're going to turn slightly to the left, you're going to point it slightly to the green.
Slightly to the green.
Slightly to the green, same as an outboard engine.
Okay.
So you turn your prop that way, you're
Yep.
going to turn left,
Yep.
opposite as well. So I'm going to correct it a little bit to the red. So we'll use this one for now, just to make small corrections.
Okay.
So we're going to try and maintain that 215.
And any lock or is it just here?
Nope, it doesn't lock at all. So this one's pretty loose, that one's slides out. So you go slightly to the red there.
Slightly to the red. So what are we aiming for?
Wait till we get about 214 and then you're bring it back to the middle.
Okay.
Okay, now you bring it back to the middle there. Right when you're ready. Start with thruster green 15. So this one, split green 15, so you can see it right up there, halfway there. Port thruster midship, start with thruster green 15, set sir.
Very good. Then we turn this one this way.
So the next time he gives you a course, then you'll stay on that course and do the next one. Yep.
A little bit more throttle.
Midship, so back to 0. Yep. Full thruster midship, sir.
Very good. Steer 240.
240. So we're gonna slightly down, so slightly to the green. To the green, the other side there. Other side. Yep, there you go. Oh, yeah, it's all opposites. It's functional. So this is the only class of ship that has this sort of drive.
Okay.
All the other ships have standard rudder propeller, so it's a wheel.
Yep.
And it's actually the same as driving a car. This one's the opposite.
It's not a conventional rudder propeller system. So it's a purpose-built minesweeper, so you really want the maneuverability, and you can take this vessel and you can move it sideways. Like without going forwards or backwards, you can move it sideways, you can turn it around in the same spot. It's super maneuverable. Not a lot of speed though. Our max speed is 15 knots.
I really want to just crank
when
it.
you're at
Can we just crank it?
If he says we can.
We do have some heavy maneuver coming up. We're just waiting for people to finish up their lunches, so we don't want to spill their lunch everywhere.
Slow ahead both. So now you're going to bring the 2 back right in the middle, and you're going to slow ahead till 70.
So we're holding these back?
Pull these back towards the middle until you get to 70 up here. Right there. Oh, touch point.
Yeah, I just want to make a recommendation to the captain. Should we
Yep.
make that recommendation? Oh, perfect.
8, 9. There you go. Both thrusters slow ahead set, sir.
Both thrusters, green 30.
Both thrusters green 30. So you turn them both. Yep. Both thrusters green 30 set, sir. Red 30.
Red 60.
Red 60. Both thrusters red 60 set, sir.
Very good.
Friendly air for it.
You can just see the super calm water coming right there. So that's where he's starting to
Oh yeah, yep.
You're just doing donuts here, Rich?
Yep, just doing donuts in the lake.
Now you're quite literally on your own after.
So you can see the calm water all the way around.
After everybody eats lunch, you're gonna spin him in circles. Nice guy.
Better video if the deck is completely covered. Okay, so I had a few too much to drink. I got in a bar fight with the dummy. We had some words and I threw him overboard. I feel bad about it. I did yell man overboard. Now Aaron's gonna go get him. It's honestly the best day at work ever. Don't get any of the camera stuff wet, Aaron. Okay?
Don't you get your camera wet.
I'm staying on the ship. My job's done. Get ready, go.
Jade, Zodiac 8, man is in the boat, cold and conscious.
Originally Aaron was gonna come back on the ship, but and the Zodiac was gonna get tied to the side, but I asked if they could get the boat up to full speed and then get some nice drive-by shots on the side. So they obliged and are burning thousands of dollars of fuel just to get it up to speed. And so Aaron can get his nice shots. This is pretty epic. Got the ship sideways so we can get some nice action shots, just because we asked. So we won't hit 14 knots today, but the point of this ship was not to go fast, it's to be small and nimble and maneuver in between and do mine sweeps and bring in supplies while bigger ships guard it, protect it as it's going in, yeah. So lots of space on the deck for ship containers, sea containers, all loaded up with supplies, equipment, weapons, whatever's needed to be brought into port very quickly while being nimble. So this ship can go completely sideways, so pretty cool.
The typical part of the Canadian Navy, we need somebody else to protect us.
The more Canadian Navy, we have more ships. But I know a lot of you guys are American watching this too. The entire Canadian Navy could fit on one, can crew one carrier.
One carrier is one.
Yeah, so one carrier, one US super carrier has more personnel than the entire Canadian Navy. But they don't let you drive those ships.
You
Just look at the wake, right? It's unbelievable what this thing can do.
So that was the hockey stick, or the hockey skate. Nice slide right over. Learning all sorts of Navy traditions, 10 o'clock soup, which was fantastic. It was a little late because things are kind of all over the place, but we're gonna go check out some engineering drills, and that's just basically what the ship can do, right? That's right. So hopefully we, and this is one of the more agile ships, so it's pretty exciting.
Welcome to the Glace Bay Machinery Control Room. Hope to see a lot of fun stuff engineering on the engineering side. Glad you guys could join us.
We also got to experience what the engineering drills looked like, and what this was simulated breakdowns or emergencies and timing how quick the response team could repair the emergency in a mock setting. Because you never know, you could be in a tight spot and all of a sudden lose all your steering. How quickly can you fix it? Really cool to see how well the team worked together.
So when we were making our journey here from Halifax, somewhere in the vicinity of Trois-Rivières, we actually did have a real-life engineering emergency. Our engineering officer of the watch, who was on watch at the time, noticed that his thyristor pump number 1, which is our cooling water pump for our propulsion motors, our main switchboard, and our propulsion ancillaries, had in fact failed, and we lost the shaft lines at that point. He made the pipe engineering emergency. Myself, as well as the rest of the department, showed up. It turns out the gauge line for the discharge and suction pressure on our primary cooling pump had in fact failed off. At that point, we isolated the pump, reprimed the second pump, got propulsion back up, and carried on our way.
The bridge log kind of shows the team's response at, like 1:30 in the morning there, and I think it was 17 minutes to have full capability restored. But we had that shaft line reflashed in manual, within 7 or 8 minutes to allow us to start steering away at least by one shaft line, and then have full cooling rectified inside of 17 minutes.
So this one right here, it was completely rusted and it popped completely out, corroded all the way, and was leaking water down into the bilge. So we had to pump all that out and replace that.
And that was the emergency that quit the cooling on the shafts? That's the cooling on the shafts?
So this cools the motors and the cabinets, the SCR cabinets.
Okay.
So if we lose pressure on this or we lose cooling completely, we lose our shaft lines.
Okay.
Normally this one, when it's in auto, the other one will kick on if this one shuts off.
Yeah.
But because it was leaking by for so long, it actually airlocked the other pump, so we couldn't flash it right away. We had to bleed off all the air, then re-flash it.
Okay.
So,
Excitement.
yeah, it was quite an experience.
So you're steering by the bridge by the helmsman console. We have secondary steering, so you can steer from here, as well as we have emergency steering, which is down to set drive. So like this is on bridge control, now it's going to switch us over to secondary. Just like that.
So now you got control of the ship?
Yeah, I have control of the ship from here for steering, yes.
This guy can't see what he's doing, but he's steering the ship. So the guys up top are telling him where to drive. And that's where he's going. It's crazy.
We're in the hull of the ship, not knowing which way we're going. We're tilting like crazy. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, we're pretty good slope here.
Oh, we're going.
You're going in?
So we're now where the Z drives are. This is what's steering the boats. Yep. Full mill oil. Should be running Shell.
So these are our actual hydraulic steering motors here. Our directional control valves in between the two main motors there. And this is the only mechanical linkage that actually tells us what angle the Z drive thruster itself is at.
They said under the boat go along 360, yeah.
Right now you're standing on a removable piece. So we'll take this entire mounting can that we're sitting on. We'll take this piece of the deck head out. This whole thing just gets lifted straight out.
The whole drive, drop everything.
Throw it in the back of the 18-wheeler, throw it over the warehouse and burnside for refurb.
So these are small arms that we use on board the MCDV platform. Fundamentally, the Canadian weapon system was brought together in 1984, and so it's largely the same platform is the context, essentially. So the light machine gun is just the rifle modified to fire repeatedly. The line throwing device is just the rifle modified to fire these projectiles. The only difference is the Sig Sauer pistol. And the biggest difference here is that chambered in 5.56, chambered in 5.56, chambered in 9mm. But it's one of the things that I actually find the coolest about the Navy is that essentially if the system works, then we're happy with the system, right? The 50 cals that you would have seen out there, originally designed in 1918. They've had 3 revisions since, but largely it's the same platform that we've been using for 100 years. Generally speaking, all of these, of course, will be locked away. When a relevant order comes down from the Force Protection Organization, we will begin to arm up. So traditionally, the first thing that you'll see is the quartermasters will start to be armed with a SIG. I've never seen it done alongside in Canada, but hypothetically, if we needed somebody at the brow who I guess had that option, that would be something that would come down the pipe. The other weapon system that you'll see on the table here is a ceremonial sword. We do use them for our traditional and tradition ceremony. So one of the grandest, oldest traditions is when you were approaching a city, you would sail to what's called the safe side of their fort and fire off all of your rounds. And they'd actually send out an officer to go and count all of the barrels and make sure that everything fired so that you're not coming into town with anything chambered. And we still do that, which is kind of funny because, of course, it's not like we're coming to lay siege to the city of Toronto, but there's certain traditions that I think are valuable to cleave to. And so when we came into the city, we had an officer dressed to the nines in his dress uniform, ordering us to fire off that 6-pounder. Every space in the ship has to be multi-purpose. We just don't have enough space. So this is the weight room, and that's IT support. Yeah, you have an hour a day for PT every day. You have to stay fit. And, when you're at sea, they try to keep you like the bike is bolted down as best that we can. And we got a little weight room just over here. You can see actually we're challenging each other on the air bike, and we're trying to keep everybody fit, in good shape, and in good spirits.
Kevin and I are both going to don some fire protective gear and spray some hoses. So, by a round of applause, who thinks Kevin's going to be faster donning all the gear? All right, and me? That's about equal. Let's see who it is. 3, 2, 1, go.
Kind of point it this way.
Point it up this way. All right.
Yeah.
So you can, if you stand on the other side of your hose here, yeah, you hold it kind of like a pistol. Yeah, there you go. All right, and then you can just pull back that bail to on water. Yep. We're in charge. Yep. All right, you got your nozzle there. You got your wide pattern in your jet. And when we fight fires on ship, we pulse the water on and off like this. So that, yeah, on, yeah, just so we don't fill our ship up with water and have stability issues.
Oh yeah.
So we got to kind of conserve water, even though we got an unlimited supply of water here. We
don't want to fill your boat
Yeah,
up.
exactly. We want to leave it in the ocean. Put the minimal amount on the fire to put it out.
That was another epic day where we got a kind of a full tour of all access behind a giant ship. It's so cool. Captain, thank you very much. Robert Coxon, thank you very much to let us be able to do this. And what was kind of the main goal of the tour?
Yeah, so our tour here today is all about attractions and recruiting for the Navy.
Okay.
Getting in more sailors, more people interested, and letting Central Canadians know exactly what we do.
Yeah.
So yeah, if there's any interest in maritime technicians, cooks, or any of the other jobs that we have, go to www.ccc.ca/en/we the Navy.
Excellent. You guys might actually be surprised. Yes, Canada does have a Navy.
We do.
And you have multiple ships, submarines, destroyers, like a whole bunch of variety. You're building stuff.
Absolutely.
So more videos like this to come. Apparently the submarine might be coming here next year, maybe. I don't know. But if there is, we'll see if we can get some coverage on it. If you guys have anything cool that you want a similar video, if you're in the mines and you've got big equipment or a factory building snowmobiles or something, anything in Canada that shows Canadian economy and working and jobs, we love to cover it. So thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate it. We're back in the shop. We just couldn't turn down this opportunity again. Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for coming by.
All right. Cheers.